Coming up in today's edition of the Citi Newsroom. Minority in Parliament to push for sanctions against Jubilee House officials who allowed for American rapper Meek Mill to shoot a music video at the seat of government.
All of those people in the chain of command who have brought this monumental disgrace upon our country must be shown the exit.
Also coming up in today's edition of the Citi Newsroom, some individual government bondholders want the government to divert funds meant for construction of roads and for the contingency fund to settle their matured investments or face legal action.
We are not asking government for a favor. It's people's hard-earned currency. So just give their money to them. That's it. And then next year comes, we raise, and it's not even all. So what belongs to government should use that to develop this year. And then next year, they will continue.
Still in the bulletin, New Patriotic Party warns it will not entertain the imposition of candidates on its members in the upcoming parliamentary and presidential primaries.
Anyone who becomes the flag bearer of our party, those who would lose, will know that they went into a fair contest, and as our party ideology and principle dictates, that they lost to the better candidate, but not that they lost because they feel that they were shortchanged.
And later in today's edition of the Citi Newsroom, management of the University of Ghana justifies suspension of 4 former junior common room executives of the Commonwealth Hall. We'll bring you details of our stories. And the Northern Member of Parliament, Samuel Kojetua-Blakwa, has indicated that the minority in Parliament will push for sanctions for Jubilee House officials who allowed for American rapper Meek Mill to shoot a music video at the seat of government. Now, the ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee on Parliament says there was a total breach of security which could compromise the security of the country. Fred Duho has more.
Behind me is the Jubilee House, the seat of the President of the Republic of Ghana. This particular office has been in the controversies for the past few hours when an American rapper by name Meek Mill actually posted a video on his Instagram page indicating basically that he's been in Ghana and he's been to the seat of government, and he featured the officers, probably the entire Jubilee House, in his video.
I barely made the team, I'm with the honors on the wood. This shit wasn't in my dream to buy a team, I'm knowing I could. I'm popping independent, handling my business, I'm feeling good. I'm wishing these niggas would.
An issue that has raised outrage on social media, and the Member of Parliament for the Northern constituency, Honorable Kojetua-Blakwa, has been reacting.
Sanctions must be meted out against those in charge of security. There's always a clearinghouse, there is always somebody in charge who gives the final authorization, who opens the doors, who is in charge of security. All of those people in the chain of command who have brought this monumental disgrace upon our country must be shown the exit.
And if it doesn't happen, obviously they can choose to communicate to the Ghanaian people or not, and obviously nothing happens.
I can assure you that this is not a matter that we in the opposition will just raise and, and then it dies with the turn of a new day. That's not going to happen. We are going to pursue this matter vigorously. We will continue to demand answers as a house with constitutional mandate of oversight. We will pursue this matter and insist that sanctions do apply. What they are doing is not just desecration, it's not just embarrassing our country, but is also posing a security risk to even successive. We believe we are coming back to power. The next president, inshallah, God willing, President John Dramani Mahama, will be working from that place. With all of this drone footage and unfettered access coverage, some crew, we don't know who they were, having all this all over the place, it gets into the hands of our enemies, and what that means for the peace and stability of our country. So we also have a vested interest to protect the stability of this country. And this is a major security breach. And that is why we, in the NDC caucus in Parliament, are going to be pursuing this matter to its logical conclusion. So I can assure you that it's not just a matter that we are raising now and we'll just let it slide. We will insist that actions are taken.
McMill has pulled down the video, and that should be enough.
It's not good enough. You know that in this digital era, pulling down a video which has already gone viral, which all of us have copies on our phones, and those who want to harm Ghana have copies, it means nothing. The harm has been caused. And the fact that he even has pulled it down should tell you that he knows that what he did is unacceptable. He cannot justify what he's done. And those he's working with, his collaborators, who have put us through this sordid situation, they must answer to the Ghanaian people.
Security analyst, retired Colonel Festus Abuaje, has described the issue as a security breach.
Anybody who is nobody comes to Ghana and they want to call on the president. I do not understand the nature and the status of that group to the extent that they qualify to call on the president for whatever reason. It does appear that they were given free access to different parts of that establishment in order to shoot their video, you see, which is probably the worst part of any security breach. The assumption that these are innocent, artists coming to visit the press, that is where the security breach starts from. Because the recording devices, I assume, the cameras and so on that they could have all manner of, chips and so on embedded in them.
An issue that has outraged Ghanaians on social media, and we are going to engage some on the street to find out what they make of the happenings as far as the security are concerned.
I believe somebody might have given him an asset or permission to enter. People have to be held responsible for that. But if it's nothing, I don't know much.
I can see that it's Jubilee House. Yes. And then everything is clear that it's Jubilee House. Mm-hmm. But I think it can be a photo shoot. But I will not want to say anything wrong. It's Jubilee House. As I'm talking to you, I can see that it's Jubilee House. But unfortunately, if it happened that way, it's bad.
How bad is it?
It's not good. My money, my life, my blood, give it to somebody. It's not Ghanaian, right? The person is Ghanaian. It's not Ghanaian, right?
Well, we understand his DNA traces him to Ghana.
It's bad. So if it's true, I'm against it. And then everybody who are against it.
So what do you think must be done to probably those who allowed him to gain access?
It's not good this thing to happen to my country, our country. If it's happened that way, and then I must confess, it's bad.
Meanwhile, the rapper McMill has since tweeted an apology to the office of the president and to the people of Ghana. It reads, "My apologies to the people if any disrespect. We're still going to push to make the connection between black people in America and Africa. What I'm trying to do is more than a video, and you should see coming soon. My apologies to the office also." Let's now connect to my colleague Sami Biafe, our presidential correspondent, to walk us through the security protocols at the Jubilee House.
You first of all write to the office of the president that on this particular day you wish to visit the president and discuss whatever you wish to discuss with him. All should be detailed in a letter you will send to the Jubilee House. The presidency will then reply your letter and tell you which day is available for the president to meet you. If the date you are proposing is not suitable for the president will write back to you and tell you that this day is not particularly appropriate for him due to his schedules, and then send you another date which is okay for you. If that is okay for you, the two parties will agree for a particular date for this meeting. So before you enter the Jubilee House, there are a series of security checkpoints. There's the first one you meet right at the entrance of the Jubilee House, where you have police and military personnel manning that checkpoint. When you enter there, they will first ask you your mission at the Jubilee House. If you give them the clearance while you are coming to the Jubilee House and the purpose, you'll be given the access. When you get to the other security checkpoint, which is at the pharmacy area or the clinic area, there's a reception there. You go in there, they will tell you the purpose of your visit or why you are coming to the Jubilee House. They will call the particular office you are coming or the particular individual you are coming to visit at the Jubilee House. If that clearance is given, then you are given another access to another reception, which normally we call the inner security checkpoint. When you get to that particular area, your details has already been taken at the first reception, and so they already cleared out who is coming to visit a particular individual at the Jubilee, be it the president, the chief of staff, or whoever you are coming to visit. Now when you get there, you are cleared, you are made to go and sit at a waiting area. A waiting area depending on who you are going to visit. So if you are going to visit the chief of staff, there's a designated area for you to go and stay and wait for the chief of staff. If you're going to visit the president, there's another designated area for you to go and sit and wait. Now, when the presidency or the office of the president proper, or the president's secretariat gives a clearance that indeed it's about time for you to go in there and meet the president, a state protocol officer is down there to usher you where the president's office is, and then you are given another waiting area to sit and wait for the clearance to go in and go and meet the president. If that green light comes, then you are given an opportunity to move into the president's conference room, where the president will come and meet you.
Now, some individual government bondholders are asking the government to divert funds meant for the construction of roads and for the contingency fund to be used to settle their matured investments or face legal action. Now, the government in December revealed that this group of bondholders who hitherto were exempted from the local debt exchange program will be included in the program. But the group says a new directive will negatively impact them. We have more in this report.
The announcement of the inclusion of the individual bondholders to the debt exchange program followed the decision by government to exclude pension funds after stiff opposition from labor unions. But who are these individual bondholders, and what impact do they envisage if the debt exchange pulls through?
Some are unemployed persons. They were formerly in employment. You see some of the banks that collapsed. Some of the bankers who lost their jobs. Some are these people. So when they lost their jobs, the little savings they had, try to put in investments so that they plan periodically. So maybe you have small in bonds, so you know that in March you get X amount. Then you have a little in treasury bills. So in April you get this interest. That. So that's how people have done it. And also there are the pensioners who are very popular in this category, right? So unemployed people, students, pensioners, etc.
According to lawyer for the bondholders opposing the inclusion, all individual bondholders are about 14,000 in number. However, those who have so far expressed their opposition are less than 400. But would the number of people who come forward for this cause matter?
We've crossed the threshold because at least 250, and that's a huge number. 250 Ghanaians getting up. That's a huge number. And every human endeavor, even if no matter how easy it is, it's normal to find that some people will not show up, not because they don't want to, but either they've not heard it, they are lethargic, all manner. So I don't expect that all 14,000 will be fighting. No, but for me, once we've gone past 250, and that's me alone, there are other lawyers who have hundreds.
The debt exchange program became necessary after a debt sustainability analysis with the IMF that showed that government's debt is at unsustainable levels. The move is a prerequisite to get a $3 billion deal from the IMF. But the group who say the investments of all individual bondholders amount to 8 billion Ghana cedis believe their funds are not significant enough to disrupt the debt exchange program if excluded.
Anybody who tells you that we need this 8 billion to be able to get a support from the IMF is lying to you. That would be a barefaced lie. Let me repeat. Now, having understood the things on the ground, anybody who makes an argument that you need these individual bondholders whose money together, the total value is about 8 billion, you need them to do the debt exchange to be able to help the government deal with the IMF, is lying to you. It's not true. This is not at all.
The group believes there are several sources of funds, including diverting funds meant for road construction and the contingency fund, for which government can depend on to settle them.
ESLA energy sector levies, right? ESLA bonds is one of the eligible bonds. Now, the ESLA bonds, what happens is that we issue those bonds so that against a certain constant stream of income, every liter of petrol you buy, the fuels, there's an ESLA levy in it. So it's a constant stream of income that's coming in. So ask government, how can you say you don't have money? So then go to Dachin, that's get fund, 2.5 get fund, that would be adding to VAT. The get fund, like 2.5. It's also a constant stream of income. We spend about 143 billion. Out of that, we've earmarked about 27 for capital expenditure, the things that you are saying. And a lot of them have to do with roads that we want to build. We've been building roads for all these years. So if in 2023 we have to step down the building of roads and pay back individuals who are owed money, so be it. A lot of them are roads. And I appreciate good roads. Yes, okay? But we're saying that right now people are owed about 8 billion. Don't take their money away so that you go and continue your roads. No, there's money. Pay them first. Don't rob Peter to pay Paul. And that's how come some of the people are even saying it's like government is running a Ponzi scheme.
Lawyer for the bondholders, Martin Pibu, has urged other individual bondholders not to extend any sympathies towards the government.
We are not asking government for a favor. It's people's hard-earned currency. So just give their money to them. That's it. And then next year comes, we raise, and it's not even all. So what belongs to government should use that to develop this year. And then next year, they will continue. Let's not have too much sympathy for government, because remember, before government got into this trouble, people had made noise, wondered that, hey, you are overborrowing. They said, no, that be that. No, we are not overborrowing. Oforiatta was warned. The president was warned. Check the tape. You see people there, your opposition. That's why you are saying all this. People were warned. Then number two, after COVID, the World Bank, having seen that, hey, there is danger ahead, came out with a program that come so that you get debt relief, etc. But the president and his brother, Oforiatta, they said no, they don't want it.
It appears government still has a lot of engagement to do as far as the debt exchange program is concerned. We are waiting to see what will happen with respect to this opposition coming in from these individual bond holders. Reporting for Citi News, Hansen Ajeman.
Let's bring you some more stories. The General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Frimpong-Kodia, says the party will not entertain the imposition of candidates on its members in the upcoming parliamentary and presidential primaries. Now, he indicates that the party will ensure a level playing field for all aspirants and will also be strict on the procedures leading to the election of parliamentary candidates and a flag bearer. Citi News' Ashanti regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani reports.
The New Patriotic Party is yet to officially release dates for its parliamentary and presidential elections, although some key personalities have declared their intentions to contest for the flag-bearer race. One issue that has created misunderstanding among party supporters during the parliamentary and presidential elections has always been the electoral album. General Secretary of the party, Justin Frimpong-Kodia, who spoke to Citi News in Kumasi, says the party has learned some lessons and will ensure there's a credible album for the elections.
As a national party, before the end of this month, we are going to print the album that is in our custody for the region and the constituency to verify. And once that stage is cleared, then we know we have a credible register. Then two, the processes, the rules and guidelines that we are also going to issue out is also very key. It should be free, it should be fair, it should be transparent, it should be friendly, it should be feasible and practicable, so that at the end of the day, anyone who becomes the flag bearer of our party, those who would lose, will know that they went into a fair contest, and as our party ideology and principle dictates, that they lost to the better candidate, but not that they lost because they feel that they were shortchanged. And those that not promote unity in the party. Likewise, the parliamentary primaries. We have learned a lesson from the 2020 elections, where by the several allegations of imposition of some candidates in certain constituencies, and it's something that during my tenure as general secretary of the party, it won't happen. We are going to give equal opportunity to any party member of good standing to be able to also go and contest, and at the end of the day, the best candidate will win.
The race to become the next flag bearer of the MPP is already heating up among supporters of the various prospective candidates. Mr. Kodia, however, tells Citi News the party must come out united after these two crucial internal elections.
It's important that we remain calm. It's important that our supporters have confidence in this crop of national executives that we have, that we will be fair but firm to make sure that at the end of the day there's a united party. And that is the most non-negotiable fundamental base that we need as a party. And I can assure you, if the processes go through in a fair and transparent manner, we will come out of the primaries as a united body. And we all know the task ahead of us. We are talking about breaking the 8. It's not easy just to break the 8. We need to do certain things differently. We need to make sure that as a party we hear the concerns of our rank and file. We need to make sure that as a party we are tolerant, we accept and also work with diverse views. And
concerns about bad roads have in recent times heightened in the Ashanti region, although some contracts have been awarded to fix the roads. The party says it will also push to get the government to address the concerns, especially in its stronghold.
Being here I've gone around a bit and I've seen some roads construction going on and some also that has been halted. And I've made notes of all these developments, and when I get to Accra, luckily enough, I have a scheduled meeting with the roads minister on Friday, and it's an issue that I intend to bring on board. But I can assure the good people of Ashanti region that the MPP, we cherish the region. We know that they are our stronghold. We know that in going to 2024, there are certain things that we need to do in this region to energize our base and also to give them hope that our continuous stay in government will be able to address certain issues and certain key developmental projects in the region.
The MPP wants its members to become and respect the processes in the upcoming elections.
Meanwhile, the former energy minister and flag-bearer hopeful of the MPP, Boakye Jarko, has cautioned the party hierarchy to be circumspect in selecting dates for its primaries. The MPP stalwart believes any error in getting the date right may cost the party in the 2024 elections. We have more on this report.
The caution follows recent reports on party, even though the party hierarchy, through its General Secretary Justin Frimpong Kodia, has debunked such reports. Boakye Jarko believes the report has created confusion among party members. He believes the party ought to have asked for a retraction of the story from the media.
Some some action should have been taken against the reporter or the media house. It is not for me to say. It is for National Council to decide, or the national executives to decide. But hey, what can a reporter chooses to falsify? Maybe the best thing is to get the reporter to retract.
The party is mandated by its constitution to elect its flag bearer 12 clear months before election. But the former energy minister believes the party needs to select a specific date for the primaries, just like December 7 is the date for national elections.
Election, so that this confusion about electoral commissioner setting date to advantage or perceived advantage or disadvantage of one or the other. Why can't we say that MPP, these are our specific dates for electing our officers from polling station, electoral areas, constituency, regional, national, parliamentary, presidential? Why can't we say that we agitated for the nation? And then everybody knows these dates, fixed dates, so that there will be no confusion, no speculation.
Boache Jakon, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Alan Chamatin, Dr. Akoto Ose-Friye, Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, and Joe Garte are noted to have intentions of contesting for the flag bearer position. Boache Jako has some advice for those who may be hoping to manipulate the selection of the date for the primaries.
Once you decide to enter a contest, you prepare yourself. If you decide to enter a contest and you are hoping that a preferential date beneficial to you will be set, or that you can manipulate a preferential date beneficial to you, then you are not a serious contestant. You don't understand the essence of a contest. It does not lie in the province of anybody who is a contestant to set the date and time of contest. It is set by a regulatory body, and you as a contestant accept or must accept what the regulatory body puts forth as the program, and then you join. If you feel that, look, the date given doesn't suit you, you drop out of the contest.
Boache Jako has called on the executives to be guided by past experiences in supervising the internal election.
Why is it that every time we do these things, some of these things end up in court, in a family? It shouldn't. It's repeating itself one time too many. And you know, there's a gentleman in Kumasi. He says his position in his constituency is he's in charge of mafia. Why? Is this something we want to adopt for ourselves?
So
the minute these shenanigans begin, whether polling station level, whether electoral area, whether constituency, whether regional, whether national, it doesn't behoove. It doesn't behoove well for us.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom, coming to you live from our studios here at Tesano in the Greater Accra region. When we come back, management of the University of Ghana justifies suspension of 4 former junior common room executives of the Commonwealth Hall. To stay with us, we'll be right back.
Can become a household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You go flip a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yugoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. Yugoflip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be.
Bank of Ghana has upgraded the 1 Ghana Citi coin with enhanced security features. The coin will be put into circulation from 12th December 2022. It is similar to the existing 1 Ghana Citi coin in shape, form and images. The coat of arms in front and the scale of justice at the back. The upgraded 1 Ghana Citi coin is bimetallic with outer gold and inner silver. The coin has a pronounced rough edge and incorporates a latent image which appears in a rectangular form below the scale of justice at the back. The latent image changes from a radiating star to a 1 Ghana Citi symbol sandwiched between 2 stars when tilted. The existing and the upgraded 1 Ghana Citi coins will co-circulate until the existing coin is gradually withdrawn. The general public is encouraged to accept the coins and use them.
You're welcome back to the Citi Newsroom. We're coming to you live from our studios here at Tesano and the Greater Accra region. My name is Vivian Kai Loko. Let's take you to the University of Ghana because management of the university is justifying the suspension of 4 immediate past junior common room executives of the Commonwealth Hall. Now, the students were suspended for 3 academic years following conduct that sought to tarnish the offices of the Vice-Chancellor, the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, as well as the whole university. In a report cited by Citi News, the disciplinary board found that the 4 elected executives did not demonstrate credibility before the board and also committed perjury by lying under oath. Let's take you to the University of Ghana, where my colleague Hansen Ajiman is joining us live. Hansen, if you can hear me, what more do we know about this story?
Well, we know that a
clash ensued between students of Commonwealth Hall and Mensa Sabah Hall between the period of August 5 and August 6, 2022. Now, in the aftermath of that particular clash, we know a number of steps were taken by the university, and the university is still taking steps towards addressing the situation. Now, one of these steps that were taken by the university was a suspension of the hall master and the senior tutor of Commonwealth Hall, because in the view of the university, the hall master and senior tutor were not cooperating with investigations and not helping the university in finding perpetrators. Pursuant to this decision, students and the JCR at large took a decision to organize a press conference to express solidarity for their senior tutor and hall master. Now, in this particular press conference, as they organized, they made certain comments, and the university deemed these comments, 1, to be derogatory, and 2, to bring the name of the university under disrepute. So, actually, 5 officers of the JCR were under investigations by the disciplinary committee of the university for bringing false charges against senior officers of the university, and also making some derogatory remarks against senior officers of the university. To not go into these derogatory matters, the students essentially made points that some of these officers had a hand or orchestrated the clash that occurred first, and secondly, knew about the bus that got stolen at Mensa Saba Hall.
Right. So what were the findings that were found against these executives based on the report that we've been able to look through?
So first to start with the president, Paul Inkum. Now, the findings of the committee suggested that he was not present at this particular meeting. However, we are told that when he appeared before the committee, he admitted of giving direction or authorizing the meetings which happened on August 18 and August 19, 2022, respectively at the Commonwealth Hall. And also the investor is saying that even after these comments were made, he did not distance himself from these comments. And even when he appeared before the committee, he indicated that regardless of how or the level of any form of description that is given to these statements that were made during the press conferences, he would not distance himself from these statements. Now, the second person here is Bright Gatti. He's the vice president or former vice president of the Commonwealth Hall. Now, he read the press statement at this particular press conference, so you can, for the want of better words, say he was the main suspect of investigation by the investee, since he directly read the statements. And the investee is saying that by virtue of reading these statements and by virtue of claiming to still stand by these statements, he had made comments that were derogatory in nature towards the persons of some senior members of the investee, i.e. the Vice Chancellor and the Pro-Vice Chancellor. Now, the third person is Daniel Kofi Boakye. Now, Daniel Kofi Boakye is a secretary for the JCR. Now, he, as secretary, according to the Investee Disciplinary Committee, was part of the organization of the program. And as part of his offense, the investee tells us that he was standing beside Bright Gatti while he was reading the statement which they find it derogatory. So the investee is making an extension that by standing close to Bright Gatti for reading these statements and not distancing himself and helping in the organization, he himself also aligned himself to the derogatory comments. The final person is Daniel Odei Nyako, who is the treasurer for the JCR. We are told that he also helped in the organization and he also aided and abetted respectively. The last person, who is a legal advisor for the JCR, Frank Asari, he was acquitted and discharged because he presented evidence to the committee that he actually advised the executive committee against taking such steps and making any comments that would be derogatory towards any member of the investee community.
Now, we know these gentlemen made some defenses during the time that they were going through this. What kind of defenses did they make?
Well, reading through the report, you get the unity in response from them. And the first point across board they all make is that they did not intend their response to appear or come out derogatorily. And also, they agree to a certain extent, and this is according to the report as released by the university, that some of the comments that were made to an extent were derogatory. However, they still stand by these comments and believe same.
Now, what is the university hoping to achieve with this, punishment? Quite a number of people are not happy. Obviously, the hall members in question are not happy. Those who were affected are not happy. But what's the end game for the university in taking this action?
Well, first and foremost, the university, so for all these four persons, they are supposed to serve a 3-year suspension. But the president, he initially was serving a 2-year academic suspension. So this makes it 5 years. However, he's supposed to serve this concurrently. So essentially, he will serve 3 years and serving 2 punishments at the same time. Now, the university is saying that it put a lot into consideration And this is not the harshest of punishment that anybody can get for the offenses that these persons have been charged with and found guilty at the level of the disciplinary committee. And that they are hoping that by this punishment that has been meted out to the students, any or other students will be guided by same to be circumspect and be careful when making comments or talking about issues that come up within the university. And also indicating to students that they are willing to give stiffer punishment next time when persons or students find themselves in similar situations. But the ultimate aim for the university is to ensure that students do not, or it deters other students from engaging in similar actions that these 4 students have engaged in.
Thank you very much, Hansen Ajiman, for giving us details of that report coming from the university. We'll move on from that story and bring you some other stories. Well, the Member of Parliament for Busa North, James Agalga, says calls for an immediate or an amendment to Article 78, Clause 1 of the Constitution must be done with caution. Now, some Ghanaians have called for the amendment of Article 78(1) of the 1992 Constitution, which mandates the President to appoint majority of ministers from Parliament. Now, the concerned Ghanaians say this provision of the Constitution defeats the principle of separation of powers and limits Parliament's supervisory powers over the executives. But in an interview with Citi News, the Member of Parliament for the Constitutional and Legal Affairs as well Committee of Parliament, James Agaga, says this must be done with caution.
The principle of separation of powers, which is a well-regarded democratic principle, divides government into 3: the executive, legislature, and judiciary. Each of these branches are given distinct functions with freedom to operate without interference from another. This doctrine also helps each arm exercise a check and balance function necessary to prevent arbitrary rule. Ghana relies on the hybrid system of governance, where there isn't a complete delineation of the executive from the legislature. Ghana's 1992 Constitution, the longest-serving rulebook since independence, provides, for instance, in Article 78, Clause 1, that ministers of state shall be appointed by the President with the prior approval of Parliament from among members of Parliament or persons qualified to be elected as members of Parliament, except that the majority of ministers of state shall be appointed from among members of Parliament. This constitutional provision, some analysts say, is an affront to Parliament's independence. Former Supreme Court Judge Justice Apol is one of those who have called for Parliament to work towards freeing itself from this provision. In his view, appointing more ministers from the House weakens the supervisory role of the legislature. Until the 2020 elections, where the ruling NPP lost its clear majority in the House, Ghana's parliament had been accused of being a rubber stamp parliament that approved anything from the executive. There is a school of thought that suggests that MPs from the ruling party, while performing their legislative duties, also have interest in courting the attention of the president for ministerial appointments, and this affects their supervisory role. Expressing his view on the debate, a member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, James Agalga, cautioned the country to tread cautiously in this regard. According to him, the current system has served the country well.
If you look at the constitutional evolution of our country, you'll find that in 1979, the 79 Constitution, for instance, made it impossible for the president to nominate ministers from within Parliament. So, in that sense, the legislature was strictly separate from the executive arm of government. Somehow, in the 92 Constitution, we thought that the fusion principle, whereby the legislature and the executive are fused, or if you like, you can call it the Westminster system, was best for our democracy. And that is the system that has sustained us for well over 30 years. But if you go back to 69 again, you find that 69 was also modeled stricto sensu along the lines of the Westminster system. So in that system, we had a prime minister who sat in parliament, a prime minister who was the majority leader, if you like. So strictly speaking, the executive and legislature were fused under the 69, Constitution. So it depends on what suits us at any given time. For now, the framers of the 92 Constitution thought that we should combine the two, but still maintain a presidential system. The question is, has that system served our interests? So we need to be careful. Let us be guided by our own history. Some argue that just separation in 79 resulted in the truncation of that particular constitutional order. So there was a coup d'etat. The typical Westminster model that we practiced in 69 also didn't work because it resulted in an overthrow of that cap. So some are arguing with that. Well, the system we have now has worked well. That is what we have been able. This is the longest surviving, constitutional order we have had over the period.
Now, residents of Boko in the Upper East region are calling on security agencies to beef up surveillance along the Wale Wale stretch of the Trans-Akawas Highway. Now, a youth group who says attacks on the travelers around Wale Wale on 3 occasions led to the death of 1 and the injury of 5. We have more in this report.
The protracted Boko ethnic conflict has resulted in loss of lives and destruction to property. The vibrant economic hub of the Upper East region has become a ghost town as several businesses continue to close down their operations while hundreds of public workers seek transfer out of Boko. The volatile situation in Boko has also led to the imposition of a ban on the riding of motorbikes and wearing of smokes. There is also curfew from 8 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock a.m. daily, all in an attempt to restore peace to the area. However, some residents in Boko are alleging that the spillover of the conflict is becoming life-threatening to travelers in transit to the south around the Wale Wale area in the northeast region. Boko Highways GPRTU chairman Abogri Mahmudu tells Citi News how some passenger buses plying Boko, Kumasi, Accra have been attacked around Wale Wale.
First attack, the bus was condemned because they have shot all the windows, everywhere was bullets, and wounded 5 people. That was the first. And the second one, they have attacked. Unfortunately, they didn't get him. So finally, they have to get one of our senior brothers' trailer. I shot one, killed one boy there, wounded 1 person. So the third one was yesterday. The driver went and stood Volga. 2 guys came and looking at the vehicle number. So he asked them, "No, are you traveling?" And they said, "No." And he asked them, "But why are you looking at my bus number?" And then he dispatched there and go to Wale Wale. He said he picks up passengers there. From there, from Wale Wale going to Tamale, there's a there's a checking point there. That was customs or so. So he went and stood there when some people came and passed with a motor. So he realized the plan. So he talked to the passengers that they should all lie down. So he departed there with speed. So when the passenger lied down, unfortunately they didn't get him. He also went. So if the security did not come up and help us, in fact, gradually we don't know what will happen. So this morning we called the Wale Wale commander and also went to Boko municipal commander and then Boko divisional commander rider. When he's absent, but we will lay the complaint there.
Addressing a press conference in Boko, spokesperson for the group, Aruk Mohammed Isaku, linked the attacks on travelers around Wale Wale to the protracted Boko ethnic conflict and called on the security to ensure the safety of travelers.
We still rely on them to ensure that the route becomes safe for every passerby because innocent lives are being lost. So far, no Kusasi man is killed on the stretch.
Some residents of Boko bemoaned the impact of the conflict on their livelihoods and admonished government to find a lasting solution to the situation.
Conflict has really caused more harm, because as a businesswoman, we come out and then this is gunshots, and then everybody run away, and my things get to spoil, and it's have to come away. And the students still also get the chance to go to school, because immediately they get to the school, gunshots, and then they are all running away, and some even get wounded along the way before they come to their house, because they be running, they don't even know where they are even passing, they're just running. And then some get to the way, and then maybe this might cause accident, and then sometimes they get away before coming in. And then we too, the government is just going down. But who has gone backwards? Because there's no anything here, the government here. Because because me cry, if I'm coming as a business man or I will not even come to work. Because I can't come and then be running every day, helter skelter. So it has brought the food backwards. So we are appealing to our stakeholders. They should come to our aid. They should just bring a lasting solution. We just beg them, no matter how it is, they should just bring a lasting solution for us. Because we are fed up with this conflict. And some of us, it's just because we are just a native. Because if we also get a place to go, we'll run away.
Very soon, schools will be opening. And when you look at this, the last time schools were in session, we realized that most of the teachers couldn't go to schools because of this ban of motor riding. And then it escalated when they banned candles. For now, candles have been allowed to use, but motors are still not permitted. We are wondering how, and you can see when you go to GES and look at the statistics of teachers who have taken transfer this year, it is very appalling. We have never seen this before. It is all about the conflicts. And then apart from that, when you go to the health sector, virtually Boku Health hospital has been closed down. The Presbyterian hospital in Boku has been closed down due to this conflict.
It affects us, our businesses, our lives. Even how to go to work is a problem. It really affects us very, very much. And then we think if the leaders, right, can come to our aid, it will really help us to save life.
The youth group here in Boku have described attack and murder of persons plying the Boga Wali route to the south as unfortunate. They are appealing to government and security agencies to beef up surveillance on that particular stretch to avert loss of lives and attacks on persons plying that route. For Citi News, Frederick Awuni, Boku.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom. My name is Vivian Kailoko. We're coming to you live from our studios here at Tesano and the Greater Accra region. When we come back, residents of Ashbury, the suburb of Weija, are appealing to the Weija-Gbawe Municipal Assembly to construct drains in the area to help improve sanitation as well as prevent flooding in the area. Stay with us. We'll be back with that story.
Is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us.
Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To me, bank and I'm not say Alphabet City. The pension pay me 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my just say very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of home sweet home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050-449999. design. Alphabet City, the ABC of home sweet home.
Getting together for the first time in years was a little bit awkward. Grandpa still tried to entertain us. Mom was always stealing the spotlight from the kids. It wasn't until Grandma cracked a joke
That's my favorite prayer.
that we got back into our groove. In this festive, DSTV is making family time even better with an upgrade.
Stay connected to DSTV and we'll upgrade you to the next package for free.
And you're welcome back to the Citi Newsroom. Now, residents of Ashbred, a suburb of Weija, are appealing to the Weija Municipal Assembly to construct drains in the area to help improve sanitation as well as prevent flooding in the area. Now, their plea follows a reclamation of a deep pit that claimed several lives. Dozens of people fell and died in a pit which developed because sand was mined there to build the National Theatre in Accra several years ago. Asante Regional Correspondent Calvin Stete has more.
Continuous mining of sand for the purpose of the construction of the National Theatre between 1989 and 1992 left a deep excavation in Weija. With time, the pit became filled with water and predators such as crocodiles. As fans watched amazing theatrical performances at the junction of the Independence Avenue in Accra, residents of the area were witnessing horrific events as their neighbors and first-time visitors to Weija sometimes fell into pits and in most cases died. Several persons, according to residents, have died in the pit and their flesh believed to have been devoured by crocodiles. Calls on authority to have the situation fell on deaf ears. But a solo effort by Ni Ayi Okufurubo, the Lafa Manche, has yielded a positive result as the pit has been filled to the brim and covered. But the only worry of residents is the flooding of the Ashbred community when the Donsu River overflows its banks. Recently, residents have lost several persons belonging to the flooding that occurred in the area. They are therefore appealing to the Weija Municipal Assembly to assist the community in the construction of storm drains in the area, as well as constructing a defense mechanism against floods along the banks of the river. Here are some residents speaking to Citi News.
Because of nsuo ye bio nsuo no na ebe wura amana no no na ba bebre wu nsuo we mu enti na ye bio nsuo na obia nya bebia afa ekokoro na say ye fa akrowa na efa nkrofo de twa nsuo no e de kokoro ama ne pa bebre wu nsuo no mu da kro anajo bi ana ye de krowa na efa nsuo twa nsuo no ne pa 7 ni nyina ato nsuo no mu but nyame adum ye nipa 5 ana 2 ni akem na omu
yamwa kase yesam se ensu kase na da ha na aye weja nsuo na ye fa ni den nsuo nka mo benya mmoa bi ade ama ya na mo de gloves akase bebe gu nsuo na beto hye be manyanya se nsuo ni yira entimi mma ye hia gatas bebre e kire se se gata ma ha de na ye se yete na de bia mo beti ye kase nsuo yiri.
On his part, the Lafa Manche Ni Ayi Okufurubo charged residents to at all times put their resources together to intervene while waiting on central government for development.
Se mu hwa aban bia ba muso on be ye ofie nim po road ma o on be ye ofie nim gota ma o amanfo of villages omu dua koku omu dua all those things they be am be ye ha ye be aban say yes ni sika ye den enfa maye. What does the assembly for no omu adwuma omu ye omu ni omu adwuma nso ye ze omu ye den omu so omu nye in the assembly nim say there's got our baby as I say onko ye no eso onko no ye den onko ye na mini say bibia say yemfa ma wo ya ye ma contractor untimi fa wa ho de ye den engongoye nti mi say no as a opinion leader e be am work room ano me so ade bi da ho na me hwe na enya yi a me so me use ma dwin ni ma ho de kakra say mbe so mu say de mi kwakoye ne ba tuma boana ba utio na ade ni da ho na wasi dan na wo twen so obi metu gota ma wo da ho na nso be fa.
According to residents in this area, sand from here was taken in building the National Theatre, but was left unattended to, leaving huge gullies and potholes. Today, the situation is different, as traditional authorities have taken it upon themselves to address the situation. Carvis Tete, Citi News, Wager.
Well, that's it for today's edition of the Citi Newsroom. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. My name is Vivian Kai.